Hello violinists, here is your shifting lesson for this week. Now this is still working on the C major scale, but I just want to break down the shifts for you and show you how to practice them. Today on your exit slip there's going to be a question about the 2 steps of shifting, so I'll say those now. You can say them with me and make sure that you know the 2 steps. Step 1 is hear it, and step 2 is move it. So first we're going to hear it and then we're going to move it. I'll show you how I'm going to do that and I'll explain more detail as we go through the scale and arpeggio. Now let's start off with the scale. We're going to start, I'll just play the lower part so you hear where I'm going. So hopefully the lower octave is pretty easy for you now. It's starting on C, 3rd finger. So go ahead and play that once just to make sure you know where I am for the shift. Here we go. Ready, middle C. And we're going to stop on C on the A string. That's the last note we play before we shift. So to practice the shift, first we need to hear where we're going. So this is step 1, hear it. Here we go, C to D. You'll see that I first play that in 1st position with my 3rd finger so I can hear where the note is. It's really important that I can hear the note in my head before we move to it. So now we can move there. And I'll play D with my 1st finger in 3rd position. If you do have tapes, your 1st finger will be on your 3rd tape. If you don't have tapes, you can check your D with the open D and make sure it matches. Alright, beautiful, we did 1. Let's go back down. And now let's do it 4 more times to practice. First we hear it, C to D. And then our elbow moves us there. Let's go back down. 3 more, C to D. Step 2. Back down. So step 1 is hear it. Step 2 is move it. And go back down. Let's do 1 more. C to D. Move it. And back down. A couple things that are really important while you're shifting. 1, keep your finger on the string so you don't get lost. It's nice to feel it as you go to make sure you're sliding on the string and you don't get lost. The second really important thing is that you don't slide, when you're sliding, it's not squeezing really hard. So you want to stay on the string but not press on the string. Okay, so slide lightly. Okay, let's try this now for our arpeggio. Whew, that's a tongue twister. And again, I'll start at the bottom and show you where we're going for the arpeggio. It's going to be the same shift, 1st position to 3rd position, but instead for the scale, we're shifting to the note D, so we need our 1st finger. So I'm sliding on my 1st finger for that 1st shift for the scale. On the arpeggio, we're going to the note E, which is the next note. And you'll see that my note E is now on my 2nd finger on the A string. And that's the 4th tape. I'm still in 3rd position, I just changed fingers. So now I'm on the note E in 3rd position. And that will be for the arpeggio, that's where we're going. I'll start over at the bottom though so you can see where we're going from the low C. So actually technically that's middle C on the G string, but it is the lowest C on the violin. So here we go, C on the G string to start. The arpeggio is, remember it's spelled C, E, and G. So we're looking for all the C's, the E's, and the G's on our instrument. Here we go. Starting on the G string C, E, G, C. Here's where we shift. Okay, so it's going to be the same shift actually, technically. It's on the A string, and we're shifting from 1st to 3rd. The only difference in the shift between the scale and the arpeggio is that on the arpeggio, we're skipping the note D because we only want C's and E's and G's. So here is how we're going to practice that, and you can play it along with me. C, E. There's step one, hear it, and now we slide to it. Ready? Ooh, I went a little too far. It's okay if you make a mistake. It's just important that you notice what it was. So right there, I noticed I went a little bit too high. So next time I'm going to shoot a little lower when I go. All right? Now let's go back down. C, or E, C. All right, let's hear it again. You can use your open string for step one. That's okay. I recommend using the fourth finger because then you can see where you're going on the A string, and I find that to be really helpful. So C, E, let's hear it. And now let's move there. It's totally okay if you hear yourself slide, especially at first. Later we'll get the shift faster and more reliable, but at first if you hear yourself sliding, that is okay. All right, let's go back down. All right, 3 more times and then we're done. C, E. Step 2. And back down. 2 more times. Let's hear it. And move it. And back down. And again, C, E. All right, once you're comfortable with that, that should make the scale a lot easier for you. I'll go ahead and play now the whole thing super slowly up and down so you have a chance either just to listen and watch so you can see where those shifts fit, or you can play along if you feel ready. Here we go. Nice and slow. I am going to use the rhythm, the warm-up rhythm, because this is how I want to hear you play it next week. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... To start with the scale, but that was the arpeggio and it was nice, so we'll leave it there. But here's the scale and the arpeggio, the whole thing. 1, 2, scale, here it is first. Shift. Back down. That wasn't the most in tune I've ever played it, but hopefully that was helpful, again, just to hear where the shifts go. So the most important thing for you to do today is to practice each of your shifts on the C to D and C to E. Practice each of those 5 successful times. So if you got it perfectly in the video every time, you're good. If you made some mistakes during the video, you were figuring it out, that is so okay. But I would like you to now practice it again. Either watch the video again or do it on your own and get 5 good times that sound good to you. All right. Thank you for being great students. I'll see you all on Thursday. Bye.